Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I am BeardedDev and today we're going to be looking at backup and restore. So we're going to cover how to create backups and then how to restore from a backup. Let's jump over to SQL Server Management Studio and go through some examples. So I've opened up SQL Server Management Studio and as you can see I've got my database highlighted, the bookshop. What I want to do is take a backup of this database. It's really important to take backups regularly. If you can, store them off site as well. Of course I'm talking about in a production environment here. This is just my local machine, so I do take backups but not as regularly as I would if it was a live database. I'd be taking backups many times every single day. So to take a backup, what we're going to do is right click on the database name, go down to tasks and click up on backup, and that opens up backup database. So we've got our source here, our database name, the bookshop, recovery model is full, backup type is full. We can take different types of backups, differential transaction log. In this case we're going to be taking a full backup. We could take a copy only backup, and then the component, do we want to back up the database or the files and file groups? In this case we're backing up the database. There's a name for the backup. We could add a description if we wanted, and also an expiration that I've generally never used. We could also back up to disk, or as we can see greyed out here, tape. That is because I haven't got any tape facilities on my machine at the moment. Like I say, it's just my own PC at home. Now SQL Server defaults our location, so it's going to automatically write to the backup folder within the SQL Server program files. We're going to remove that and we're going to add our own location. On the root of the C drive I have my own folder called database backups, so that's my selected path. It's going to be a .back file for a backup file, and I'm going to give this a file name, so I'm just going to call it the database name, the bookshop, and I also like to add a time and date stamp to the backup as well. So date is the 2nd of April, time we'll call it 4 o'clock, and then .back. So we've selected our location now. We'll just click OK on that, so it's going to be backing up to disk at that location. I'll just show you this as well at the top. You can actually click on there and it will generate a SQL script to back that database up for you. We're not going to be using that script today. I just wanted to give you an example of what that looks like. So we'll close that window down for now and reopen up our backup. Then we've got further options. So we've got an option to backup, overwrite all existing backups, backup to a new media. Then we've got some reliability checks, we've got transaction log options, tape drive options and compression options, which we're not going to look at today. We're just going to leave those as the defaults. So if I click OK on that now, we can see we had a progress bar down here saying it's executing. This is only a small database that I'm backing up at the moment, so as you can see it completed quite quickly. If you're working with a much larger database then it may take some time. We'd see a progress bar of here going through the percentages, and we could also have the option to stop that as well. But in this case it's been successful, backed up quite quickly because it's only small, and we get a message to say that's completed successfully. Okay, so that's an overview of how we can back up a database pretty quickly. If you're going to be running any scripts against the database, any updates, deletes, inserts, it might be a good idea to take a backup beforehand, so then you've always got the data in a previous state to refer to, which is an exact example that I'm going to go through now. So I'm going to open up this database and look at one of my tables, customers. So I'm just going to run a query against this table. So if we execute that, we can see we've only got 5 customers here. Now let's imagine I wanted to remove one of these customers, say customer ID 5. So I write my delete script and I've executed that without a where clause. As we can see we've got 5 rows. If I go back to the select now, we've now lost all of our data and we need that back. So we've run the script incorrectly, we need to be able to recover our data. So I'm just going to close that window for now, and the option we've got is to restore the database from the backup we took earlier. So again, we're just going to right click on our database, tasks, and we're going to restore database. At the moment it's looking at the database. We want to change that to our device because our backups are on our local machine. Let's point that to the location where we took our backup, right here. Click OK, OK again, and that's going to give us the name of the backup that was taken earlier, all the details of the backup. It's going to restore it to the database, the bookshop. It's important to check this destination, and then we can have a look at some other options here. So we could also generate the script for this restoration. We can have a look at the files. So we've got different options here with files, so we could relocate the files. That's telling us where it's going to restore the files to. At the moment they're just stored in their default location for a SQL Server install. We could change them where we wanted to restore by changing the options here for restore as. We've also got an options tab. So we've got options to what we want to do to the existing database, tail log backups, and server connections. And then if we were backing up a database that somebody was using, restoring a database that somebody was using, obviously they'd have active connections to that database. So we might want to look at close existing connections to that destination database. If you've got somebody using a live database and you want to restore it though, probably not a good idea. Well, you may have to do that. It may be an urgent situation. And then at the bottom we've got the option to prompt. So if we go back to the general tab, we'll just check our details are correct. Our source is our device. That's the correct file path, the correct file name. It's going to the database, the bookshop. We're restoring to the database, the bookshop. It's selected the correct file. So we're just going to click OK. And as we can see, that's executing now. We get a progress bar at the top and again down the bottom left hand side, and we get a message to say that that database has restored successfully. So we'll just click OK on that, and we'll go back to open up a new query against this database, and we'll look at the table we accidentally removed our data from earlier. So if I execute that query now, as I can see, all the data has been returned that we accidentally removed earlier. So that was just a quick video, guys, on how to back up and restore databases. If you're just starting working with SQL, it's very important to know how to do that, especially if you're going to be carrying out any DML statements against the database, so changing any of the data at all. We'll be doing a lot more videos on backup and restoring and creating databases in the future, but this is just a quick overview of how to carry out those actions. I hope you have enjoyed the video, guys. If you have, please do give it a thumbs up. Post anything you like in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I will be uploading videos regularly on different areas of SQL, business intelligence, data analysis, so if you're interested in any aspect of that, please do subscribe, and also click the notification button to be kept up to date with any new videos. If you'd like to email me, my email address is askbeardeddev@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.